This is the Toy Dolls. 45 years of
45 RPM.
Into 1984, Olga.
Yep.
Life is moving on
It is.
pace. And this time we've got quite an interesting recording. This is We're Mad with Deidre's a Slag on the B-side. And for the 12-inch version, which we'll mention as well, Rupert the Bear. We've still got Olga, Bonny, Baz and Dicky in charge of instrumentation here with yourself on vocals. Now, We're Mad was a departure from the speed of the earlier 4/4 releases. And it was also unusual in that it was considered by many fans to be serious.
Yeah.
Because it featured content about war. What was the origin of the song We're Mad?
Yeah, well, it was about the wives of the husbands who went off to war and fighting, and all being meaningless at the end of the day because it's war. And I thought it was a good idea to have this along with, and not say serious songs, Rupert the Bear and Deidre's a Slag at the same time. But I don't usually write. I mean, we've all got political views and that, but I don't usually write about them.
It is true that we've mentioned this before, that you tend to avoid politics and anything that's majorly controversial and that kind of stuff in your songwriting.
Yes, in the songwriting, yeah. I mean, off stage, we've all got political beliefs and that about different things, but it's nice to have this hour of escapism, really. Yeah,
that's great, yeah. And it was the first Toy Dolls single to be released as both 7-inch and 12-inch. And this was, in this particular part of the middle of the 1980s, 12 inches were becoming big, as people say. Did you feel happy with the way Volume were handling these releases? Did you have any problem with there being two versions coming out?
No, they would always consult us first.
Yeah,
all the time. That was the good thing about the Volume. We've got this idea about doing that. How do you feel? Which would never happen with EMI. You do what we say. Completely happy with them. Never. It
does sound like a very healthy time, professionally. To be
totally
working with them.
Yeah.
And I was wondering if We're Mad was any more complicated to record than any of the other singles, because it seems like quite a complicated song to put together. Different stages, different phases.
Yeah, and it's longer. No, it wasn't really. We just had to do more rehearsals because we didn't record it in sections. It was just recorded one long thing. But I think it's too long. Actually, it's about 4 minutes long, I think. Yeah. For us, that's really long. It wasn't any harder to record. Yeah, we just had to be more rehearsed.
And it does really stand out like a sore thumb in terms of format and style.
Yeah, I think so.
From other songs, yeah. Now on the B side, Deidre's a Slag. It's one of a number of songs from particularly your early days, but more recently as well, relating to characters from soap operas that you've written and recorded about. Did you have a particular reason for singling out Deidre from Coronation Street to write a song about?
Well, I mean, apart from her being a slag, not really.
I think fair comment, I suppose, in the context of the song.
Well, I used to watch soap operas all the time. I never ever watched one single soap opera now. From round about the COVID time, I stopped watching. I moved on to a different thing in my mind, in my life. But and I like the character. I was always a fan of her character from when I was 12, when I was used to see her on the Coronation Street. Yeah. I mean, not everyone knows that she is a fictional character. I just like the character and what she looked like, and I thought she was a good candidate to be
great candidate, a good character, and greatly missed. But in a kind of compensation, your life has become a soap opera, so.
Totally.
That's the way it should be as well.
Yeah, I agree.
You've told me, mentioning the Deidre song, it was a killer to play live. Because you relentless speed of the downstrokes.
It's a downstroke. We might be doing it again, actually.
Yeah. But it was always, ironically or conversely, it was always a staple in the live shows in the early days.
Yeah, it was.
How did you cope with that? Because
well, all the other songs, Tommy Cowie's Car and I've Got Asthma, they were all that kind of thing, downstrokes. So it didn't make it any harder, already in the practice, in the floor things. But it is a hard one to do.
And it's harmonised, not right the way through, but a lot of it's harmony as well.
Yeah, you need a singer. I mean, we've got Duncan, so he can sing. But that would be like a harmony all the way, every single verse.
Yeah. It's quite a big ask, isn't it? Yeah,
it is.
And it's very, very fast.
Yeah.
I think, sticking on Deidre, there have been, I think it's 3 versions released over the years.
Yeah.
And I wondered if you might have dreaded having to record it each time because of that speed and
Yes.
also the harmonization and so on.
Yes.
Yeah.
In an uncertain word. I think the best version was one that we'd done in London. It's on the Strength Through Eye album. I think the guy, I think it was the bass or guitar player from the Four Skins. He played the piano and he played
with a little, I don't know what they're called,
the trill or whatever. Yeah. He was really good at that. Was probably the best one. But yeah, trying to recapture the good parts of the previous recordings. And you always lose something. Sometimes you might gain something, but you always lose something which was in the original, the earlier ones.
I think there's a key change in there somewhere, isn't there?
There is.
One of them, yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes up to A sharp, I think. Yeah.
Or B flat, one of the two.
That's the one of the two.
Brilliant. And then the last thing I wanted to ask about today was, so this refers just to the 12-inch version where Rupert the Bear is included.
Yeah.
Great fun, very fast with a nice harmony in the chorus.
That's bass again on his Rupert thing. Yeah.
And I'm guessing its inclusion was another tribute to kids' TV. Do you want us to run us through?
Yeah, I mean, at the time I was looking around for something which would be follow up to the Nelly thing, something like that. Not necessarily to release as a record, just the next step forward. And I thought that was the best thing. I mean, we hardly ever played it live though. Yeah. But it's decent. The recording's good.
Yeah, there's humour in there as well. All these verses are exactly the same.
Yeah. Well, I couldn't find the lyrics anywhere, and I realised I just sang the same verse each time, so I just said that at the end.
That's fair enough. No, it was a nice inclusion, and
thank you.
I think it was actually the first 12-inch record I'd ever bought as well.
There you go.
Yeah, and I don't have the 7-inch for that one. We're Mad 1984. Thanks very much, Olga.
Thanks, Ronan.